Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Welcome to Creating a Future We Want, the Ethic series. I have been learning a lot about both inflammation and inflation recently. Inflammation I've been studying for a longer period of time, inflation not as long. I study inflammation because I have an autoimmune disease. In fact, I have two. And because I'm an American, I think that two is better than one because more is always better than less. Inflammation kills. This is something that I've come to believe and understand about the world. Sometimes it kills you quickly. Sometimes it shortens your life, increases the probability of developing all sorts of terrible diseases at the end of your life, taking away many of your living years and healthy life years. All of that is terrible. So you have chronic inflammation and we have acute inflammation. Now, the chronic inflammation, I've come to believe that everyone suffers from this to some degree. Evolutionarily, compared to the evolution of the species, today we are exposed to all sorts of crazy stuff that our immune systems are like, hold on, that's weird, send out the troops at a very low level just to survey and see what's happening. Well, this causes a low level of inflammation, which, for instance, could increase the frequency or severity of mutations, increasing the likelihood of developing a cancer, or decreasing the efficiency of cellular replication, and all sorts of terrible diseases and things are more likely to visit you sooner if you have chronic inflammation throughout your life. But we mostly don't notice because it's very low level and stretched out over a very long time. Pernicious. So, I have autoimmune disease, so I experience acute inflammation episodes where my body will lock up, become rigid, and I'm basically in bed for a few days and not a lot of help around the house. I have come to view inflation in a very similar way. Inflation kills. It kills in the short term with acute inflation, and it kills in the long term with long-term chronic inflation. So, it was weird to come to understand this, because I came to realize that I had been taught and come to assume that low levels of inflation are normal and important to, the progress of society or humanity. So, but then I've come to understand more now about how these chronic low levels of inflation are causing harm to individuals and society over the long term, and basically going to be like cutting off the length of our lives, taking away healthy life years from each of us, from our societies, from the individual to the scale of humanity. Now, acute inflation might be called hyperinflation, as we see in places like Venezuela, Argentina, and Lebanon at the moment. These are times when people are in a position of terrible suffering right now because the total amount of money they earn today from a day of work is worth less tomorrow, and less the next day, and less the next day, and it could be, I think I read that Venezuela's currency is inflated 99%, 5 times since 2012. Holy crud. So this is the world we've built, right? I'd say that dealing with inflammation is simple, but it's complex, very difficult. It's like stop eating sugar, start sleeping well, start exercising, spend more time with the people you love, spend less time with super stressful stuff, your levels of inflammation will go down, your immune system will be much more happy. But all of that's hard because we built a world that's all about making sure sugar's in everything. Just for instance, if everyone stopped eating sugar tomorrow, I don't know, total anarchy across the globe. Plus, be a lot of grumpy people. So, inflammation is similar, right? We've built this world, everything about it is built on this notion of inflation. All our financial systems, all our financial policy, and now we're in this place where we've had a bunch of wars, speaking for the US, financial crisis, and COVID. And I live like 1 mile from the printing presses, and they've never stopped. So, we've gotten ourselves into a real fix. A lot of people believe there is no way out of it, but it's weird. Maybe there is a simple solution. What if there was access to a stable currency? There are a lot of people working on this right now. Probably the most important thing for me right this moment is that the UN adopt a proposal to make access to a stable currency a basic human right. This is the thing I care about right now. This is how I'm using my time. I think you should consider using it in this way as well. My name is Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want, the Ethics series. What's your vision of a relationship with your currency?